Hello, my fellow humans. Welcome back to my channel. Abby here, and welcome back to Goddessing Universally. This is where we tap into our highest selves and pour into ourselves health, wealth, and spirituality, many things. I am your big/little sis on the internet that's got a lot to say, and I'm here to just speak my mind and give you some things that have helped me along my evolving journey in life. And you may not agree with everything may not make sense, but I really hope that I can give you guys value. I lost my page. What? No. So Goddessing Universally is my rebrand. I already made my announcement video. If you want to rewatch or watch my announcement video, it'll be before this. And I pretty much talk about why I rebranded, a little bit of an update, and what's to come. What the frick? Easy explained, hold on. Are you cute? Cute? Are you cute? Look at you. Okay, we're starting again because I had to go eat and just get my mind right because I was in. My doggo is right here. She will be assisting me in the rest of this video. Pretty much, he's taking a nap, so I'm going to try to keep a level tone, even though I usually like to scream and be loud in my videos, and I talk very, very extra. I'm just going to keep it a little low right now. So this video is going to be about how to protect from evil eye. First of all, evil eye is real. If you do not believe in it, this might not be for you. I would say on different dimensions of my journey, it affects me more than others. There's times where it's completely irrelevant and I don't have to worry about it as much, but there are times where I energetically can feel this coming from different people and even myself. This is something that's not talked about enough, is not only it coming from other people, but ways that we can actually inflict it upon ourselves. So I want to cover that. I want lip gloss. Okay, put that in my plant. That'll be my lip gloss holder because I'm a goddess queen of the earth. Okay, now, all right, so first of all, evil eye is real. It is something that is almost like, if I were to break down and explain spiritual warfare from my point of view, I know that there's many ways to look at this, and I know that there's probably going to be things that I miss. So if you have a different lens, different perspective, you want me to dive into your lens and maybe how you're dealing with it, just leave me a comment and I will speak on that. But no one's perfect. I cannot cover this in every sense of the word about it. Like, I can't do that. It's not possible because there's so much to say about it, but I will try to do my best. So I would say evil eye and spiritual warfare is almost like a unseen kind of violence and negativity that is sent to you energetically and spiritually. And it's more potent the closer the person or just the stronger the feeling towards it from someone that maybe you were once close with, or even someone in your proximity. The more that you're gonna feel it. If someone has a lot of negativity towards you and they're around you a lot, you're gonna feel the effects of it more, and it will affect you whether you're aware of it or not. This is something I have a lot of personal stories and experience on that I would love to talk more about eventually, just to spread awareness, because this can get really deep and almost be like a life or death situation. I've had plenty of situations where I did not realize until after the fact that these people had evil eye for me. One of my scenarios actually is what gave me this scar. If you guys know me, and as you get to know me, you will know I have a very big scar that goes here, and it actually goes all the way up into my head. It was from a very serious car accident, and it was in a friendship that I received heavy evil eye from. So this is something to not take lightly. Do not hang around people who are heavy in their envy, their jealousy, their hatred. This is something that could really be a heavy effect on your health, your well-being, physically, beauty-wise, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It can show up in the form of illnesses, different parts, ailments on your body, nightmares, and just blockages in areas of your life where you should have abundance showing up. So if you're experiencing it, that you might have a little bit of evil eye in your life, the thing that I found is the most effective is to not fear it. The more you fear it, the more power you give it. So if you're someone who deals with this, we all deal with this. This is something that everyone has in their life, one shape or another, and none of us are truly perfect. So there are ways that we're actually giving it out without realizing it. So it's really good to first work on yourself, work on your discipline with your own evil eye, and make sure that you're sending people with your thoughts and your energy, good energy. Sometimes when we're feeling some type of way about something someone has, a place in life that they are, we can be unconsciously sending people the evil eye. So this is something I really want to address, because most people, when they talk about it, they're talking about how other people are the source of their pain and like sending them evil eye, but we rarely address how those people are themselves, and we are all connected, and we all are capable of the same amount of hatred and jealousy, and you know what I'm saying? But it's about doing that inner work to keep that in check with yourself, so you are not giving that out, because sometimes where you're giving it out is where you're gonna get it back. So I would say first and foremost, if you feel there's evil eye over your life, look at that area of your life or feel how it's affecting you, and look at if that's something you actually create negativity around in your own mind, whether that be out loud or privately, because that could be a very powerful solution for you if you decide to go within and find the source of that within yourself and learn how to heal that, or at least become disciplined enough that when those feelings come up, you know how to navigate that in a way where you're not hurting other people, whether that's silent or unsilent. You're not sending people negativity through your eyes, your mouth, your mind, and you will see your life improve so much when you get a hold on your own negativity and your own, I would say, just lower vibrational emotions and feelings. And not to say that all emotions are negative. It's definitely important to be accepting and graceful and loving towards yourself, even when you feel those more negative feelings, you know what I'm saying? So don't hate yourself for this. Everyone experiences this, and I think the more that we make it normal to talk about, and I find that evil eye comes from a place of being in pain. So when people do send it to me, I know that they are in great pain, and that is why it's being sent. So this is gonna get me into like I would say, let me read this really quick. First, I always pray for people. If I feel like I'm having some sort of negative emotion come up about someone, I pray for myself, and I also pray for clarity, and I pray for the person involved. So sending someone good energy, even against your own negative thoughts, is the most powerful thing you can do. It's okay to feel negativity. It's okay to feel judgment towards things and negative emotions, but it's what you do about it that makes you who you are. So none of us can outrun our more negative side of ourselves. Like, everyone has it. Everyone has a shadow self, and if someone pretends not to, they're probably suppressing a lot, and that's gonna cause a lot of like unconscious chaos and damage in your relationship, or just being around them will probably be a lot of just constant sabotage and not very safe events emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So I'd be careful about people who are unconscious of their shadow. They still deserve love, but it's good to watch your own back and keep yourself safe. So I'm gonna get into pretty much like I said, if you feel you're getting that, I would start with prayer, because that's the first thing that I go to now when I'm starting to feel this heavily. And to find if there's an area of yourself that might feel a certain way about someone in your position or where you're getting evil eye, and check that first. But it is possible to be in a healed place with something and still receive evil eye. So that's what I'm going to get to next, is the inner knowing, and developing your spiritual life is so important, because when you have a healthy spiritual life, it's almost like taking care of your hygiene. When you're dirty, you go wash your body, right? Physically. Well, when you're experiencing stuff every day that's spiritual, and you're almost getting a spiritual buildup sometimes in your aura when you go in public, when you deal with people who are not in their more conscious, higher selves, we tend to pick up on things that alter the way that we act, we feel. And the more that you practice staying in your own energy and making sure when you get home you're clearing that with prayer, you can use sage, you can use crystals as a tool, you can use like water, like taking showers and kind of doing like meditation, visualizations. That's something that helps me a lot. But I always like to refer back and bring it into my consciousness, the knowing that I am protected no matter what. And that is something that keeps me grounded and stable while I'm dealing with effects of spiritual warfare or evil eye. And like, I know that a lot of people would say like, it's only real if you make it real. Sometimes, yeah, but sometimes no. Sometimes I really have been in my higher power and you still will kind of feel it a little bit, just coming from, especially if you're someone who is in front of a lot of people, deals with a lot of people, you have an online platform, there's a lot of energy circulating, almost like when you send a text message to someone, they receive it. That is how our energy works. We can send like telepathic text messages through our energy, through our aura, and send it to other people. That's why prayer is so powerful in most religions and other things that are around the world that have a spiritual practice. It's usually based around that, and that's really just sending energy, just from what I've experienced and what I have come into the knowing of. But I do want to say that you do not need crystals, sage, an evil eye necklace. You don't need that stuff to be protected. If you work with your internal world, those are just tools to kind of help, even though they do have energy and they do have their own symbolism and, you know, energetic properties that help you. It's kind of also to help you almost with a placebo effect. I think it's a little bit of both. There is science behind the energy and crystals, but they don't work if you won't work with them. So you don't necessarily need anything, and I don't like to promote being dependent on anything outside of yourself for your inner peace, because you should get your inner peace straight from the source, straight from Creator, and that's where I feel I am the most protected in alignment. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you go buy this, go buy that to be protected from this, because you don't necessarily need it, but it is something that is helpful and comforting while dealing with these things. And it's a really good reminder to stay aware and to like take care of yourself, if that makes sense. They're kind of like cute reminders. It's kind of like this. It's like you have a home. The home is not going to not be a home just because you don't have pictures on the wall, right? The pictures are just enhancing the homey space, making it feel more at home, but you don't need it to make it feel like a home. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. It's a good reminder, it's fun, and it's part of like the spiritual aesthetic, I would say, if you're into that, but you don't need it. You don't need it. If you can just start to practice on your own, that's not going to be something you're going to have to put a lot of time, money, and effort into. I would say one of the biggest, and I wrote this down about 2 months ago, and I still stand behind what this says, but I would say keeping your nervous system regulated. When you feel like you aren't yourself, take a break and get recalibrated. So pretty much this dives into several different things, how you can understand it. So I find that I am the least susceptible to warfare, evil eye, disturbances, and other things that mess with my alignment when I am strongly regulated, when I'm in my fullest health, when I'm taking care of myself, when my nervous system is regulated, it's calm, and I'm in control of what I'm supposed to be in control of. So really this breaks into healthy lifestyle, and this is what I'm going to be talking about a lot on here, is talking about, you know, keeping up your fitness, your nutrition, your mental health, your spiritual hygiene, making sure that you're giving yourself your love language, loving yourself, dating yourself. We're going to talk about all of that. When I feel like I'm fully connected to who I am, this stuff, I may notice it. It's something that I will notice, almost like a bird flying past your face. You're like, oh, there it goes. But it's not something that will get inside of you and start to cause more momentum and more disturbance. That's what I have found. So really prioritizing your peace and your harmony and making sure that you are living your most peaceful lifestyle. It's not about living your best life and making it look glamorous to everyone. It's really about, what do you like to see? What do you like to feel? You might love to go out, or you might love to hang with your friends, right? But being selective about what that looks like for you, not making it look like other people's. I think some people get so caught up in the image of what a best life looks like that they sacrifice a lot of their peace to have that. And I'm here to tell you, do not sacrifice your peace for an aesthetic, okay? If you love, having a drink of wine with your friends, just make sure you're with people you really love and trust, and make sure that that is the energy being set, the intention being set for being around people you love, having fun, living your life. I'm not here to shame any way that someone lives their life, because I know people will change when it's in alignment for them, and some things that might seem unhealthy to some people is actually indeed part of someone's spiritual journey of tapping more into experiences, learning from them, and developing their awareness. So I never want to make anyone feel like they shouldn't be doing something if they're doing it. I encourage health. I encourage, if you know something isn't good for you, it's time to change. I like to encourage that, to trust your intuition and take that extra step, but I'm not here to shame anyone. So identity and inner work. So like the stuff I do with people with life coaching, right? We work on a sense of self, your self-esteem, your identity. Not saying identity is tricky, because it could be something that limits you, keeps you grounded. We all need a little bit of identity to be our paperweight. We all have a mind that has different thoughts, and there's so many things and possibilities out there that we can be, and it's amazing, but it also can be something really debilitating, and it could actually drive someone crazy. So it's good to have a sense of self strong enough that it keeps you and you're in touch with your core values and who you really want to be, who you really want to show up. And if you have those principles, have those values, and you stand strong in those things, it's really important, because when moments like that hit, where you're receiving a lot of external negative energy, or you're around a negative environment, energy is just contagious. You can be the strongest person, and it's a little contagious. We all need to recover. I find when I have my strongest sense of self, and I know how I've done the work of how I would react in certain situations, what things I will and will not talk about, developing boundaries and a sense of self. All of this inner work is super important for dealing with spiritual warfare and energetic hygiene, a spiritual hygiene, because if you start to feel like you're around someone, and this is important for empaths, people who are highly sensitive, especially. Everyone deals with these things, but I feel like highly sensitive people and empaths deal with this the most. And I've heard this so many times. I cannot tell the difference between someone else's energy and mine. Like, is this me or them? Like, I can't tell. Well, that's where doing the inner work, spending a lot of time alone, and developing a sense of self comes into play. And then also just taking these moments as practice when you're around people, and like maybe taking breaks. Like I am guilty. I am guilty of, but not guilty, because I love it and I need it. Taking little breaks from social events, going to the bathroom, recentering my energy, and being like, because highly sensitive people, we feel things. We will see and feel things about people that they might not even be aware of, and it can make us feel something. We have to process our feelings a lot more than other people. So if you are highly sensitive, if you're an empath and you're here, I'm an empath, I'm highly sensitive, so if you are here, you probably are one of those things, or you just resonate with something I'm saying. But you kind of have to stay in that identity even more, because that's something that's going to keep you grounded and keep you from reacting to things that are not yours to react to. So it's about responding and like staying strong in your identity, so you're not acting out of character. So it could, because sometimes other people's energy will start to make us act out of character, and then it can cause drama, it can drain you a lot. It can make you question certain things. It can actually put a lot of strain on relationships if you're not strong with your boundaries, if you're not like principled in yourself and like what you will and will not take part in. So you're not self-abandoning and like sabotaging yourself just because you're feeling all this external energy. It's really good to know how you feel grounded and carry that into different places where you're going to be experiencing a lot of energy. And sometimes in certain circumstances, I will feel myself starting to drift and I'll be like, wait a second, that is not really me, you know, at the end of the day, like I don't need to do that. I don't need to say that. I'm just going to kind of like calm down a little bit, you know, and that takes some practice. So don't feel bad if you're in a place where it's hard for you to manage that, because I've had a lot of alone time in years to develop my sense of self and to go through my trauma and like redefine what really matters to me, my values, and figure out how that's going to show up through my person. It's very tricky. And I've also had time to do that through here. And even to this day, sometimes it's tricky. It's like, who do I want to show up as? Because we are multidimensional beings. We have so many different aspects to who we really are, but not all of them are appropriate everywhere. And I find that the thing that should be consistent is what is coming from your heart, your values, your principles, like who you are in your spirit, in your soul. So once you're clear with those things, it's going to be a lot easier to navigate confusing external energies. And therefore, when you're experiencing things that you don't like, are spiritually painful, are almost like a spiritual packed punch to the gut, you're going to know how to respond mindfully, wise, and in a way that doesn't sabotage you or anyone else. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people who partake in that and send those things out, they are in extreme pain. And if we stoop down to their level, we are actually perpetuating that energy. So it's really good to step back and use that to create something more wholesome and healthy for yourself and everyone involved. Because that's really going to be where the growth happens for everyone. And it might not be immediate, but it will eventually happen. Because I swear, every time I've been in a situation like this and I have taken this approach, it could be days, weeks, years later, people remember how you treat them and how you acted, even if they were in the wrong. So I try to stay in my integrity regardless, because at the end of the day, people will eventually process that, maybe, not always, and see how you did, and they will think highly of you. So that's how you really stay in your power. And I find that in any situation, how I act is what makes me feel good or bad the most. So like when something happens that I'm not cool with, if I act out of a place that matches the energy of someone else, I end up hurting myself more because I get disappointed in how I acted. I'm like, that's not something I would have done, and I only did that because they acted like that. I try not to adjust my behavior based on circumstances. I try to maintain what I love and what I love to see for myself, no matter what is going on around me. And obviously, like, okay, this doesn't apply to like, if you're in a situation and you need to, I also believe in discernment, you know, like if you need to adjust how you handle something, I will be soft, but I'm not going to be soft if there's a situation going on. But there's a way to address things and be stern and assertive and slightly aggressive in a way where it's not disrespectful or harmful, and you're still coming from a place of your higher self, if that makes sense. And I will get into those videos too, how to stay in your higher self while maybe putting someone or something in their place. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that, if that makes sense, that's kind of like some tea. But I just want to talk about this because I do get this issue a lot, and I've had a lot of people ask me how to deal with spiritual warfare, how to deal with evil eye. I do have an evil eye necklace, I do have the crystals, I do have the sage and the Palo Santo, and I use that from time to time. But I'm very, very much about, especially as a coach, really tapping into your inner power and using that source to kind of, you know, maintain what you have. But sometimes when I'm feeling extra weak and I can't seem to find that in myself, it's nice to have some like training wheels around me to kind of get me in the mood to tap into that and channel that energy back into myself. So I hope this helped. I will make a whole separate video about this because this is super relevant. Whenever you find, so I will take you guys through the different chakras and like what each of them mean and like what happens when they're blocked and how you know they're open. And there is actually a way to keep them protected too, like close them in scenarios you don't really need them open. You don't always need to be super aware of this, but like for me, sometimes my throat chakra is very powerful for me, and this is something I have to keep open and tapped into a lot because of like what I do. This is something that I need to work in order to get the things out that I want to get out. So when this is blocked, I know something's up. So I know I have to work on blocking it, and there's some sort of internal emotion, trauma, or shame around this. So there are things you can do. Sometimes if you feel like, just to do a quick review, sometimes when you're experiencing this, any kind of warfare, you will feel like if you normally get a lot of downloads, new thoughts, and you know, energy flow in your mind, and you feel like it's like flowing with ease, you're getting ideas, and all of a sudden you're not, this might be blocked. Maybe if you had a lot of clarity one moment and then all of a sudden you feel like foggy and you feel like your eyes are making your brain confused, it could really just be your third eye that's blocked. If you feel like you normally can get out what you have to say, or you would like to be able to do that, it might be good if you came from a place where your voice was suppressed a lot and you didn't exactly get to speak your truth or your mind or express your emotions. This might be something that you need to work on just for a little beginner end of the video sesh. If you feel like you're kind of numbing or you feel cold and like you don't really feel anything towards anything, and maybe you're generally like this, but maybe there's a couple things you usually feel like heart-lit about and that kind of went away, you might have a little blockage here. If you're someone who is usually kind of cold and you've never really felt a lot with your heart and you feel like you want to tap into that more, the heart chakra might be something you want to work with and do meditations and kind of see what emotions are on there. Look into holistic health around the heart, really with all these things. Your solar plexus, this was something that was just kind of really unblocked for me. I went to an event and this has a lot to do with doing. I'm gonna make a video and go through all of the chakras and like what they mean, what they do for you. But they're energy centers, and they're which like different parts of us that give us our different abilities to respond to our environment and just carry out what we're here to do. Whether that's actions, speaking, listening, holding space for people, really any area of your life will be affected by how these are aligned. So it's something worth getting into. Solar plexus has a lot to do with doing and consistency and discipline and that kind of stuff. And I felt like for a minute mine was really blocked, but going to a really motivational event where a lot of people were breaking past these blocks openly and speaking on it actually helped me open mine back up, because it was blocked from a lot of fear, dread, freezing. I deal with these things even, and I'm very aware of these things. So there's nothing wrong with you if you deal with this. This is just something you will have to learn and evolve with over time. And then there's your sacral, which is like your life force area. I like to read a lot about Taoism. I actually have a book over here. It's in one of my previous videos. I talk about the books that I read, but I love studying the art of how energy flows in the body. I actually get acupuncture, and I learned a lot about how to maintain your spiritual health, your physical health through energy work that revolves around Chinese medicine or Japanese medicine, Taoism, however you want to say it. And your sacral is really where your life force is. That's where like the biggest amount of energy is. And when that's blocked, the other ones tend to kind of get blocked up. So it's a really powerful one to open. That has to do with your creativity, your sexuality, your sensuality, also your feelings. It has to do with a lot. I'm not gonna like go through what all of it means. I know I'm missing stuff. I can only focus on like one thing at a time, and this video isn't really about that, but I'm just taking you through for a beginner thing to kind of like look at what's blocked with me. If you're feeling really fearful, scared, you feel insecure, you don't know why, it's not normal for you, or maybe it is normal for you, you've just never known life without those feelings, your root chakra might be really messed up. I know that I've always struggled with mine because of the way that I did not feel secure most of my life. So it's something to really be said, like if you struggle with nightmares, if you struggle with feeling unsafe, maybe like a bit of paranoia at times, being overcautious, it could really just be your root chakra not feeling totally secure. If you feel like you can't fully rest in your being, like almost even physically, and you have lower back problems and stuff, you might want to like work on your root chakra a little bit. And really what I do, just to throw in a tip, is I focus mainly on meditation and body movement. So whether that is yoga, working out, or just doing meditations, or I like to even just visualize and like tap into the feelings there and just let my body feel the feelings. Sometimes just letting yourself feel the feelings will be what unblocks it, but that's just a deeper topic for another day, so I will be glad to get into that another time. This was just something to add to that, because oftentimes when we're dealing with evil eye or spiritual warfare, it can come for whatever your strongest thing is. It tends to be what happens to me. And oftentimes when I know I'm under attack, I can't speak clearly, and that's not like me. I usually can speak my mind, my feelings very clearly. So when that's happening, I know someone's like icked out by my truth on the internet or something. So yeah, just pay attention to those things. But other than that, that's all I have to say about that today. I know that there's so much more that can be said about that, and like how to deal with it, where it comes from, like things that kind of show up when it happens. But I will definitely make a part 2 eventually. This was just kind of introduction. I've never talked about this on here before, so I want to see how it does. And if it's something you really enjoy, I would be happy to keep expanding upon that. Just ask me specifically what you would like me to expand upon regarding this topic, and I will do that for you. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with a friend that you might think would truly gain value or benefit from this, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.